In this tutorial we talk about line in AutoCAD. Line in AutoCAD is probably the most used and the most important geometry or object. So here we have something already drawn, and a line is defined by a start point and an end point. And the start point of the line is defined by two values, x and y. And also the end of the line is defined by two values, x and y. If we click on that line, right-click on the line and select Properties, a panel like this will come on the screen, and at the menu Geometry you will see Start X and a value, Start Y and a value. There is a Start Z that is for three-dimensional drawing. We just skip at this time. And we have End X and Y of the line. Now let's go to draw some lines. So there is about 5 ways to draw a line. Of course there can be many more because we can combine some techniques and so on, but mainly 5 types of drawing lines. The first one is by clicking or setting by click the start point of the line and the end point of the line. Go in Home menu, Draw, select Line, select the first point of the line and click for the second point or the end point of the line. Press Enter to finish the command. Repeat the command, select Line, select the first point, can be that, no problem. Second point, click to set, press Enter, and it's done. Now we have to keep in mind that by pressing Enter or spacebar that have the same value, the last command will be reactivated. The last command we used was line. I press Enter, and what I have to do is to select the start point of the line, and I will select the end point of the line, press Enter. Now this way to draw line is very good when we have already draw some geometry. So for example, having this geometry already, it's very easy to select line, select the first point and goes to select the second point. Press Enter to finish selection. Press Enter to repeat the last command, select the start, select the end point of the line, and so on. The second way, drawing lines, is select line, select the first point, select the end point, select the end point, select the end point of a line, and so on. So I can create multiple lines by clicking, or I can input the value in this command bar or in the entry that follow my mouse cursor. For example, 5 and 60 degree, 5 and 60 degree. It goes there. Press Enter to finish the command, and this is the second way of drawing a line. Draw the first point of the line, the end point of the line, the end point, and so on. Before going to the other 3 ways of drawing a line that are much more complex, we have to know something about dynamic input mode and static input mode in AutoCAD. AutoCAD has these 2 ways of input. Now, going back to this status bar, we find here an icon called dynamic input, and is on at this time. If you don't have it, just go to the last button here, that is customization, click on that and check if dynamic input is checked. Is unchecked, the icon disappear. I will check it, the icon will come here. If I click on that icon, I will switch between on and off. The simplest way to see if you are in a dynamic input or static input is click somewhere on the screen and move your mouse cursor. If your mouse cursor is followed by something like here, some entry spaces, that means you are in dynamic input. I will press F12 to get out of dynamic input, and as you can see, that entry just disappeared. Now we are in static input. I'll press once more again F12 to get back in dynamic input, and as you can see, where I move the mouse cursor, there is something following my mouse cursor. Now the difference comes when you play with absolute or relative or polar coordinates. As you can see, if you want to draw a line, I will zoom out a little bit. If you want to draw a line and we are in dynamic input, before the second value that determines the end of the line, you will have to place this sharp sign. Or if you are in a static input, you will have to type an at if you will draw relative coordinates. Also here you will have to type that at symbol. So this is the difference. If you are in a dynamic input, which is most common and most useful, then working with absolute value you will have to type this sharp before the last sets of value. And now let's see the other three ways of drawing a line. Drawing a line with absolute value for the start of the line and even for the end of the line. So this pair of value will be related to the 0, 0. Also this value will be related to 0, 0. The second way to draw a line is relative coordinates. That means the start will be the same, having absolute value, but the end of the line will be related not to the 0, 0, but to the start of the line. And the last one is polar. That means the first pair of value are absolute value, that means related to this 0, 0. But the line will not be determined by another 2 points, but rather determined by the length of the line and the value of the angle, like in this picture. Now let's draw some line. Let's suppose we want to draw a line from this point, this corner, to this corner. That means the first set of value will be 1 on x, 1 on y, and the second pair will be 2 and 2. So we have to go 2 units on x, 2 units on y, and we will draw that line. Now this time we will not go in menu to find the line symbol, but rather we will type L, press enter, specify the first point 1, 1, press enter, and as you can see, this kind of orange line set the start of the line in 0.11, and we have to go there. Let's zoom in a little bit the image. We have to go there because we are in a dynamic mode and all the example will be in dynamic mode. We will have to type that sharp before the second pair of the value. So it doesn't matter where is oriented this line, we will type sharp, and because the other sets of value is related to 0, 0, we work with absolute value, will be 2 on x and 2 on y. So will be sharp 2, 2, press enter to finish the line. Now I will delete the line and we will go to the next one with relative coordinates, You can see here relative coordinates. What we will have to do is to type L, press enter, select first pair of value, that will be 1, 1, 1, 1, press enter. The line start already in the point we want, and now we don't use absolute value but relative value, and in relative value we will type 1, 1. So the second point is starting or is related to the start of the line, not the start of origin. So not the start of origin, but the start of the line. So from here it will goes 1 on X and 1 on Y. So the second pair of value will be 1, 1. Once more again, 1 and 1. And we will not type sharp 1, 1, press enter, press enter. And we draw the same line as you can see in this example. If we use absolute value, we will have to type sharp and this pair of number, but here this pair of numbers. Now, when we work with relative coordinates, we have to imagine something like moving all these coordinates to the start point of the line. We move somehow imaginary all the coordinate system to the start of the line, and we measure from there. And what we measure, 1 and 1. As you can see, 1 and 1. Now the third way of drawing line, so for example L, type L, press enter, specify the first point, or click, or input some value. I will click this time. Let's say I will draw a line that has the length 10. We have to type angle brackets as like this and like this, and an angle, let's say 45 degree, press enter, and my line goes 10 units at an angle of 45 degrees. Now we will draw another line with polar, and we will go just 3 units this time at an angle of 0 degree. This is 0 degree, so we will have to type 3 angle brackets and 0 degree, press enter. Now suppose we come down 3 units, 3 angle brackets, and it's here is about 270 degree or minus 90 degree, minus 90 degree, press enter. And now I stop the line here, and I will just go to these polar coordinates. So this is positive direction and this is negative direction. I press minus 90 degree, and from here I just go down, was this line. So if you think the last part is somehow complicated, just take your time and look at this once more again and once more again until you will understand, because it's quite important in drawing line. Thanks for watching, please subscribe.